Hey guys, this is Tutor Puppy, and I'm here to show you how to host your very own Minecraft server for you and your friends. This won't involve any port forwarding, which is a unsafe process of exposing your Minecraft server over your network to the internet. It's going to use a Minecraft server system that operates with plugins, so you can add functionality. Now, they're not mods, because hosting a Minecraft server that can install mods, that's out of the scope of this video. It's more complicated, but they are plugins, and you can add things like world edit. So, as you can see here, we're on the Spigot MC homepage. Now, before you start yelling at me, yes, I use Firefox. It's a great browser. You should try it sometime. But the thing is, Spigot is Minecraft server software, and it's very good. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very good, and I like the Spigot community. It's very well done software. However, it's not very optimized. So if you start running a server with more than 10 people on it, Spigot will start to get slow and laggy. It's basically an example of what you can do with a Minecraft server. It's not what you should do. So as you can see, they just announced 1.17 support. I might update this video if 1.18 or 1.17.1 comes out or whatever. But the thing is, Spigot, like I said, isn't optimized. So we're going to want to use Paper. Paper is a very optimized version of Spigot. Now, it will use some more resources. So if you have a very bad computer, well, first of all, you shouldn't be hosting a Minecraft server. But you might want to use Spigot because Paper uses more resources to give a higher amount of performance. So I highly recommend you use Paper. So we're going to go to downloads first. And we'll need to grab ourselves a copy of Paper. So first we're going to want to grab the latest build. Right now it's number 46, but it might be number 600, because if we go to 1.16, it got all the way up to 778 before they switched to 1.17. So they very recently announced 1.17 support for Paper. So we're going to want to grab the latest build. Right now it's 46, like I said, but it could be something much higher in the future. Just grab the one closest to the top. We're going to hit download. Now I got a prompt here. If you got a similar prompt, just hit save. It doesn't matter where. Just remember where. Now, before we get started, we're going to need to do a little something. In order to host a Minecraft server, you need to have a way for your friends to access it. Now, there are many ways of doing this. You can port forward, like I said at the beginning, but that's unsafe and can even expose your network to attacks. I would not recommend port forwarding for beginners. There's VPNs, which you might think of as a security thing if you know what they are, but they're actually ways to remotely connect to a network, but then your friends have to install extra software, more than Minecraft. And then there's also tunneling services, which send the data from your computer to an external service, and then your friends connect directly to that external service. So we're going to use ngrok. It's a free service. You will get a link to send to your friends. It's going to be randomized each time you restart it. So that's a con, I'd say, but it is worth it because then you do get to access your server, and the link won't change unless you turn your computer off and on again or close the window. So as you can see, this is what their homepage looks like. We'll scroll around. And of course, the software is all trustworthy. You can look it up elsewhere. Paper might be a little bit harder to find because it's not as popular. But you can do a virus scan, and it might come up positive because this kind of Minecraft server, it's a Java file. And also, this is for Minecraft Java, not Bedrock. If you don't know the difference, there are plenty of online guides to find out. So if you have a Bedrock device, you cannot connect to a Java server without a little bit of a setup, which I might go through in another tutorial. It is possible, contrary to popular belief. But anyways, Java files occasionally come up as viruses, because Java which is the coding language that this is made in, can be used to harm your computer. And that's not a good thing, and there are people who would do that, but I can assure you, Paper MC, this is not going to harm your computer. So this is, wait, sorry, got zoomed out. I know it's pretty low resolution, but if your main Minecraft screen looks like this when you first open it, you're running Minecraft Bedrock, and you can't connect to this server. The background might be different. If your Minecraft loading screen looks like this, you're running Minecraft Java, and this tutorial is for you. Now, here's what it looks like, and also, just so you know, you can use the free plan, but you do need to make an account, or your Minecraft server code will expire every 8 hours or so. As long as you have an account, that won't happen, and it doesn't cost anything. Now, here's what it looks like, and I know that I'm exposing my secret token, but I assure you I'm going to regenerate it before this video is anywhere near being uploaded. So we're going to want to hit download on ngrok. This is how we're going to use the alternative to port forwarding. Ngrok is the alternative to port forwarding, because it'll essentially let us tunnel into our Minecraft server, or let our friends tunnel, without exposing our network to bad people. So I've gone ahead and downloaded ngrok and Paper, as you know. So now we're going to want to unzip ngrok, because it comes in a zip folder, or file. So I just double-click because I have a program that does that for me, but you might have to do something else. I'm not sure how your unzipping works, just make sure you unzip it properly. Now we're going to want to go into this folder, and you'll see this icon. If you're on Windows, it'll be a .exe. If you're on Linux, you'll know what this is, because Linux is a little more advanced. If you're on Mac OS, it'll look like a little terminal if we zoom in a little bit. I can't zoom in, I don't know why. So we're just going to want to drag this into our downloads. And now I've got this. Now we're going to want to make a new folder. We're going to call it Minecraft Server. You can call it whatever you want. I'm not going to stop you. But for this tutorial, I'm going to call it Minecraft Server. It doesn't really matter, but you might have to change something later on, depending on how we set it up. So this is where our files are. And now, we're going to go back. I have a shortcut to swap between windows, that's what that is. You can see they have us unzip it, and then they have us run it and get our authentication token. This will be different for you. This part right here will be different. Never share that with anyone, because then they can essentially crash your Minecraft servers tunneling, so they can actually crash your ngrok, which you don't want, and you'd have to regenerate your token and reset it up, and it's annoying. So we're just going to copy this with Control-C or Command-C or whatever. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more uncomfortable. We're going to have to set up a startup script, but in order to do that, we need the terminal. So look up how to open the terminal on your system, and I'll catch you back there. So this is what the terminal looks like on my computer. This little blurred out section is going to be my name. So feel free to do whatever digging you want to uncover my name. I'm not telling you. So now we're going to type CD, and then the name of your downloads folder. In my case, it's just downloads, and I can hit tab to autocomplete. If you're familiar with the terminal, this will all make sense to you. And we hit enter at the end of the command. Now I can type ls, and this will show us everything in our downloads folder. Now I can type cd Minecraft server, and we're going to hit tab again. And we can hit enter. Notice it puts a backslash because this particular kind of terminal doesn't like spaces. So now if we hit ls, we'll see that we have two files, ngrok and paper. So we're going to want to type mv space paper dash, and then we can hit tab. and then we're going to type server.jar so that it's easier to remember. Now, if you're on Windows, whenever I would type ls, type dir. It'll show you something a little different, but it'll give you the idea. And you can also look up how to do some of this. So we're going to go back, and we're going to want to make sure this command is copied. Now we're going to paste. And you can just hit enter. Now notice it just saved to a configuration file. So again, this is my name right here, so you'll see that blurred. And now the next step is going to be to run our server. So we're going to need to make sure that we have Java installed. Now, I know some of you might be saying, well, I have Minecraft installed, doesn't that use Java? Well, yes, but it uses an internal version of Java, something that's built into the program, and just because you have Minecraft installed doesn't mean you actually have a system Java installed. Now, you might be tempted to just Google search Java and download the first result, and that would work for Minecraft 1.16, but it will not work for Minecraft 1.17, because the default version of Java that you can download is Java 8. We need Java 16. So, we're going to go back to our browser, and we're going to Google search JDK 16. Now you can see from my history I've already been doing this a little bit. Now JDK stands for Java Development Kit. Now we're not developing in Java, but it's pretty much the best way to download a JDK. Or a JRE, which is a Java Runtime Environment. So you kind of need a JDK to get the latest version of Java, to run it. So we don't need the actual development features, but the JDK includes the runtime, which is basically the files that let you run Java programs that are already built. So we're going to click on not the first link actually, because what we're actually going to want to do is scroll down to where you see jdk.java.net, and we're going to click it. Now, you'll see we have a few different options. We have Linux AR64, Linux x64, Mac OS x64, Windows x64. The x64 means 64-bit. If you're running a 32-bit system, well, first of all, I don't think it has enough power for a Minecraft server, and second of all, it just won't work in the first place, because they don't offer 32-bit builds for this particular JDK on this website. So I'm on Mac OS, so I've already downloaded it before, so I'm just going to click the link again, and we've got it. Now it's going to take a second. I've got okay internet, so mine is going a few megabytes a second, 8 megabytes a second, which isn't too bad. So we're just gonna wait, and now it's downloaded. So you can see my, so you can't see it, but my thing already unzipped it. So on my third monitor. So I'm just gonna close that, and we can go back here. We're gonna hit the back arrow to get back to my downloads folder. We're gonna want to put. So I've already unzipped it, it automatically opened it. So this is the extracted folder. We're just going to want to pop this in our Minecraft server folder. Now we're going to want to rename this for simplicity. Oops, I hit compress. If you ever misclick, it doesn't really matter. It's compressing in the background right now, but it's not a big deal. We can just delete it. If you misclick, just try to undo what you did, and if you end up messing it up, just delete all the files you downloaded, and you can start over. It's not a big deal. So I'm actually going to move this to my trash can, because I don't want that right now. So we're going to go into here. So I'm just clicking on Mac OS. You have to get to the bin folder. So what you can actually do is go in here, search for bin, and now we can see this folder. So you can see the path down here. So you can just search inside the JDK folder for bin. Make sure you're searching within the folder, not your entire computer. Now I can copy, and hit the back arrow. Now I can paste. Now we can actually move this entire folder to trash because we have what we need. These are the binary files, and these will let us run Java. Actually, I think I might... Wait. So we're going to see something. So you're also going to want the lib folder, and just for safety, let's just grab all these actually. So in the same folder that bin is, just grab all the folders, and you can paste them. Now I'm going to get a warning over here saying it already exists. I'm just going to hit skip. You can't see it, but it's there. Now I can move this to trash. Now we've got all these Java files. Now we need to actually run our server. So if you want, you can put these in a folder, but it will change what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to go back to my terminal. And now over here, we've got all of our ngrok stuff. So again, there's my name that I'm blurring out. And now we're going to not do the auth token again, because we already did that. We're going to make sure all the files moved. So we're going to type ls on Mac and Linux, dir on Windows, that's dir, to make sure all the files are there. Sure enough, they are. Now we're going to type /, and if you're on Windows, always use backslashes, where I use forward slashes. bin / java minus. That is going to be the minus parts are going to be the same for all of the systems. XMX. And now here's where it changes. So XMX somehow stands for maximum memory usage. I guess that kind of works, but that's not the point. We're going to want to take about half of the RAM your computer has. So if your computer has 8 gigabytes of RAM, which probably won't be enough to run a Minecraft server and a Minecraft client, which is just the game, at the same time, 8 gigabytes is probably not enough. 12, I would say, is enough. 6 is just barely enough to do it, and 4 is not. So we're going to want, I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, so I can actually put, but you don't really need exactly half if you have 16. So I'd say if you have 8 gigabytes of RAM, do 3. If you have 16 gigabytes of RAM, you can do 6. If you have 32, you could do 12, so on. So I'm going to do 6G. That stands for 6 gigabytes. Then I'm going to type dash or minus XMS, and we're going to put the same amount, so 6G. Now there are a set of special flags that we will put in here later. Flags are the things that start with minus signs. There are a set of them that we will need to use eventually that will make your Minecraft server run considerably more smoothly. And we'll do that after we've tested that it works. Then we're going to type -jar. This is telling it, this is the file we want to run. Then we're going to type server.jar. I'm hitting tab to autocomplete. Now, if we hit enter, it's going to start outputting the output of paper, which is our Minecraft server. Now we are going to get an error here, because it is going to tell us that we haven't agreed to the EULA, the End User License Agreement. So we're just going to wait for that. It's just like when you check a box without reading the terms. Like, I agree to the terms of use and the privacy policy. We just have to do that, but it's in a file. Now, there is a little Easter egg hidden in this file that I will point out to you. So now it should give us the error any second now. So you see, failed to load properties file. That's our settings for the server. Failed to load eula.txt. You need to agree to the EULA in order to run the server. Go to eula.txt for more info. So we're going to go back to our file explorer, and you'll notice it made a few new files. It made server.properties. It made a few folders that we just can't see. It made logs. It made cache. Everything else is from our Java. we're just going to double click on this and it should open in Notepad. There's no need for anything fancy, any fancy text editor. And one sec. It opened on the wrong screen, so I'm going to be right back. Alright, now I have it on the right screen. So by changing the setting below to true, you are indicating your agreement to our EULA. And then you should probably read this if you want to know what you're agreeing to, but it's not the biggest deal. It's just saying you won't be using it to make money, or you won't be violating Minecraft's terms of use. And honestly, as long as you're not doing anything that you question the legality of, I'm not sure that's the right word, then you're probably right. You also agree that tacos are tasty and the best food in the world. Now, I don't agree to that, but, oh well. So we're going to delete the word false. That's the Easter egg. So that's not included in the default Minecraft server. That's added in paper. So that's just funny. Now we're going to delete the false and type true. That's just spelled like that. Now I can actually zoom in a little bit, I think. So it just looks like this. Now, we're also going to want to save. So we're going to want to make sure we hit Command S on a Mac or Control S on Windows or Linux. Now it says saved. So now we can actually close this file, which I'm not going to do because I already have this ready. But you just need to make sure that you change it to true and save. That's all you need to do. So, now here's the important part. We need to make sure that we customize the server.properties, which is going to let our Minecraft server know how we want it to run, like what options. So this is going to be where you specify things like game mode, difficulty, if mobs spawn or not, stuff like that. So stuff you'd expect to find in a single-player world settings. So we're going to swipe back here. We're going to open server.properties. It decided to open on a different monitor again, so I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I've managed to get it open here. As you can see, this is the Minecraft server properties. This is the date I recorded, Thursday, June 24th. That's just the date that you start the Minecraft server. And it also includes the time. It's not really important, and if you delete this line, it'll put it right back in there because it's kind of dumb. So, I'm going to want a creative Minecraft server. So we're just going to type out the game mode, all lowercase, all one word. In theory, you could do spectator. In theory, you could do hardcore. Well, no, you wouldn't do hardcore. It's just game mode, creative, or just do creative or survival. Don't worry about anything like that. You can change that later. So I'm going to type creative. I like enabling command blocks, so I'm going to type true instead of false. Message of the day. This is where like servers like Hypixel will put like the colored text under the name that you put in for the server. So I'm going to type 2231 puppies Minecraft server. Now we're going to want to leave PvP on. So these are all the settings. And you don't really need to change any of these, although if you want to change the difficulty, it's right here. I already had it highlighted. So I'm going to make it peaceful. I know, I'm kind of a wuss. I'm proud of it. So we're going to save. I just did Command S. You can do Control S on Windows or Linux, as always. Now I go back here to our terminal. Now we can literally hit the up arrow, which will put the command that we ran previously back in our console. And we can just hit enter again, because we changed the configuration files and now it should start up. So you can see it's loading up. And also, while it's loading, a little PSA about Paper. They update bugs, they fix bugs almost every day. So you're going to want to update your server.jar by just downloading it again, removing the old one after stopping the server, of course, putting in the new one, and renaming it server.jar. I'll show you how to do that in a future tutorial. So you can see it's loading. So it actually opened up a server interface on a different screen, so I'll show that to you. It's kind of blinding after the dark mode, but you can see this is our server console. So in here you can type commands. Now we don't actually really need this, because this will, if you type commands in here, it'll do the same thing as typing them in here. However, it is nice to have this, because what it does for you is it lets you see the memory usage and see the players online all at a glance. So you can see our average tick per second is quite high right now. That's not that good. So that's where these special flags are going to come in that we add to the server to keep it running smoothly. Now you can see it is dropping, or it's fluctuating. So we're going to want to go back to our console. And you can see this is a warning. Can't keep up. Is the server overloaded? Running 5,176 milliseconds, which is 5 seconds, or 103 ticks behind. That's pretty bad. It's not a good thing. So we're going to need to fix that. One way to do it is to throw more RAM at it, but that's not a good way to do it, because it'll just keep eating up more and more RAM until it crashes. So we're actually going to we're going to type in, this is kind of like a terminal, S-T-O-P, stop, basically. Don't misspell it, don't use any capitals, and then just hit enter. Now you'll see it just responded immediately, and it's stopping the server. Now, the server is off, and we're back at our console. So you actually can't see the other window. If I were to go back to it, you wouldn't be able to see it. So we're going to go back to our Firefox, or Chrome if you use that. And we're going to search AIKARS flags. This is iCar's flags. I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I'm wrong, if you're watching this iCar. And they are highly tuned performance options that you put in your command to start the server correctly. And this will greatly improve your performance. A lot of people don't know this trick. People who self-host their servers, at least. If you pay for hosting, it's going to be a lot easier, but of course you have to pay for that. You don't have to pay for this. So, you can see, here are the flags we need. You can see it kind of starts out like our command, except they give it 10 gigabytes of RAM. So this guy says at least 6 gigabytes, no matter how few players. So we're actually just going to copy everything from this command. But we're going to stop after the -jar flag. Now we're going to want to make sure we select all of this, but we don't want to copy any of this stuff, because that's a common mistake, copying parts of a command that aren't actually part of the command, they're part of the article. So I'm going to hit Command C. I do it a few times, because that's what the kids call a program remove. I am a kid, I'm aware of that. And now we're going to want to do a little bit of coding. So this is going to be a little bit of a complicated part. If you're on Linux, you'll know what this is. These are called executable files. If you're on Windows, you might have heard of them. They're .bat files, .batch files. If you're on Mac, you probably you may or may not have heard of them. It doesn't matter. What you're going to do is open up your favorite text editor. In my case, I'm going to use the command line, but if you're on Windows, you can actually just use Notepad. So you open it up. So I'm going to type nano. If you're on Mac or Linux, you can do this. Start.sh. And we're going to hit enter. Now we're going to hit Command V. And we're going to want to make sure we go back to the beginning after we paste it. So I'm using a command line editor, as you can see. But that doesn't matter. If you're on Notepad, just go back to the very beginning. and we're going to want to change XMS10G, XMX10G to the correct amount of memory. In this case, it's going to be 6G. Now, these flags, they don't recommend using anything less than 6. So if you have 4 gigabytes of memory, you can probably spare 2 for a Minecraft server, but it won't run smoothly at all. So now we're still scrolling back. We're going back to the end. And we're going to type, it went to the next line, oops. And we're going to hit a space after jar, server.jar, space is the new part of the command. No GUI. This will tell it not to open that interface because we don't really need it. There are ways to check that information without that interface, and it just kind of slows it down, makes it laggy. Not significantly, but we don't really need it. So we're going to hit Control S or Command S. In this case, it's actually going to be Control because this program doesn't listen for the Command key. And then Command X. That's if you're using Nano. If you're on Windows, just save the file in Notepad. Wait. We have to open it up again because we didn't specify the Java path. So we're going to type /, remember if you're on Windows, use backslashes, bin/Java. Now we can save and exit. Now we've made our startup file. If you're on Windows, you're going to want to save it not as an SH file, but as a .bat file, .bat. That is going to be how you start up your server. You just double click on that. If you're on Windows or Mac, or not Windows, sorry. If you're on Linux or Mac, you're going to have to customize it a little bit. So we're going to need to type only on Linux and Mac, chmod +X, and I'm putting spaces between all these parts, start.sh, and we can hit tab to autocomplete. Now our server is ready to be started, believe it or not. So you can type /start.sh. Now our server should take a little bit longer to start up because it's actually using the new flags, and we should have much better performance. So I'm going to open up a new terminal window while this is running, and I'll meet you back there. So now we're back in our terminal. Again, this is my name over here, so that's blurred. Now we're going to type cd download/Minecraft server. We're going to want to make sure we're in the folder again, because when you open up a new terminal, you won't be in this same folder. And you'll also notice this warning message that said our server can't keep up is now gone. So now we're going to go back here, and we're going to type /ngrok TCP 25565, and you'll notice the spaces between these. Now we're going to type now we're just going to type enter, or hit enter. Now you'll notice our terminal completely changes. Now this is giving us an address. So this is going to be blurred because that's something private. That's just my team name. That's my account. You just need to make a team name, make something up. And you'll notice we have this address. So if we actually copy this is what you share with your friends, and you can connect to your Minecraft server. And to exit out of this, and just leave out the part that starts TCP://. Just the rest of this, be sure to include all of this stuff that's highlighted. So the part after the colon, and then just in the numbers. You don't need to include the space or this arrow. But we're actually going to hit Control-C because, believe it or not, and you can stop the server, that is the end of this tutorial. You've set up your very own Minecraft server. Feel free to comment below on any questions you have. And thanks for watching. And also, just so you know, I'm not going to be asking for donations this early on because that'd be really dumb of me. But if you could subscribe, that would help out immensely. So, yeah, just keep on coding. See you next time.